Leader of the third party. Leader of the third party.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The 2024 Climate Change Accountability Report was released yesterday. I'll start by saying I'm grateful for the transparency. And this caucus and many British Columbians are frustrated that we are not on track to meet our climate targets. It's my job to convey the anguish and anxiety felt by my constituents on this. A failure to meet legislated targets in any other area would bring harsh criticism, and this is no different. Climate inaction means British Columbians will pay a much steeper price than any carbon price can inflict. Infrastructure damage, health consequences, societal insecurity. This work is going to be hard, Mr. Speaker, and I sadly acknowledge we're in a lull on prioritizing this existential issue of our time. It's difficult to lead the way when popular sentiment works against our long-term responsibilities. My question is for the Minister of Energy and Climate Solutions. How can this House and this government inspire British Columbians to see climate stabilization as a populist collective effort and giving government of any stripe the support and authority to accelerate the energy transition we all know we need to make?
Minister of Energy.
Well, thank you, Honourable Speaker, and thank you to the Leader of the Green Party for the question. Honourable Speaker, just in this period since the election, we've announced 10 renewable energy projects and today introduced legislation to ensure and help ensure that those projects are built. We will be doing more on this question in the future. I think a singular and remarkable effort to respond to our economic development needs and our climate needs, to link them together and to build everywhere in British Columbia, and we're going to do it. Since the election, Honourable Speaker, we've introduced new regulation on methane, where we're leading Canada, indeed leading the world. A 43% reduction in methane emissions in the oil and gas sector, and the industry deserves some credit for this as well, Honourable Speaker, I would say. And we are going to meet our targets for 2030. Do we have more work to do? You bet we have more work to do. That's why we're reviewing Clean BC programs to ensure that we work towards reducing emissions in British Columbia. That we do that, we make it a priority, and we do it linked to the affordability of people in our province and linked to the clean economic growth we need to do to create jobs everywhere in BC.
Member supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. One of the areas where we have a lot of work to do is emissions from transportation, which are up 18% since 2007. This figure is bound to go up with the repeal of the consumer carbon price. The underlying reason is no mystery. In my riding, there's no public transit between Whistler and Vancouver, despite it being a key commuter and tourist corridor. Commuters across BC spend too much of their days stuck in traffic for hours because public transit is inadequate or non-existent. I appreciate the effort on wind energy, but our concern is that this government is ramping up clean energy that fossil fuel export enterprises can use to greenwash their dirty operations. Every dollar of subsidy to polluting industries is a dollar not spent building public transit and a low-carbon economy that benefits British Columbians in the long term and has a higher return on investment for these public dollars. What is the minister's plan to reduce emissions in the transportation sector?
Minister.
Well, thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I just disagree with the characterization of the member, and this is a good debate to have. When you produce clean energy and then you do it again and again and again, you build out on the extraordinary opportunity for clean energy on projects, by the way, that are 51% owned by First Nations. You are making a transformational decision about the economy, and we have to continue to do that, Honourable Speaker. There is no other option to do that, and it benefits our economy, creates jobs, and builds public support for action against climate change. You bet we support this. And I hope all members of the House will support this, and we'll be testing that in a coming debate in the legislature, Honourable Speaker. With respect to transportation initiatives, BC has the lead in Canada in transition to EVs, Honourable Speaker. And that's because of the work of a lot of people, including new car dealers, including environmental leaders, and we got to continue to drive in that direction. We have some of the most significant transit projects being built in Canada right now under the leadership of my colleague, the Minister of Transportation. We need more transit. You bet we're building more transit. We need new EVs on the road. We're building it. It means the electricity we make in BC replaces the gasoline we import to BC. This is good for our province. We support Clean BC, and we're going to continue to act on climate change.